Another episode of JD Heart of a Lion. I'm sorry it's been a couple of years since our last video. A lot of things have changed and a lot of things have happened since then. For one, obviously there was the whole pandemic, but for one, the last video I made, we were making our transition, moving to our new house in New Jersey, and we downsized for a much bigger house, and the transition's gone very well. I've been working ever since then on my 10-year plan, and when we left off last time, the transition from the other house was a big part of the plan because it was downsizing, reimagining my life, reimagine really putting my priorities in order and figuring out where what I really wanted to do. I think at that point when we moved, it was 18. I had started the 10-year plan in 15, going into 16. So it was about 3 years into the plan. So now we're about 6 years into the whole transition, 10-year transformation. That was the time when I really drew a line in the sand and said, well, I want to take my life in a completely different direction. And this meant financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, take myself in a completely different direction. And I would be lying if I said it's been a smooth transition. There's been, like any other life, there's been ups and downs, and there's been times when the transition's been very, very smooth, and then there's been times when the transition's been somewhat difficult. But having said that, I believe truly in accountability. And at that time, when I first created a video I think I was in my backyard of my previous house. I was really gun ho, and I was figuring out, okay, well, this is what do I want to accomplish? And this was a huge step for me. And there's been a lot of huge steps in the last 3 years that I didn't document. And a lot of that, I'm sorry I didn't document because I think it would have been truly valuable. But I'm here today, and we're starting from a clean slate. Last week, I started working on a book that's been in the making for a long time. A lot of times, several times in the past, I've started writing and then I've stopped for different reasons, and I never follow through with actually coming up with a good solid book. I was too focused on the number of pages, or how do I transition to this next topic, or how do I work that in, or the outline. I'm very, very analytical, sometimes too analytical, and I was getting caught up in the mechanics in writing instead of getting really focusing on the nuts and bolts of just letting my creativity shine through. So now I've kind of changed directions on that. So getting back down to making YouTube videos once a week. I'm going to do it religiously. Going to try to film them on Monday mornings. Um, kind of have a good idea. Please bear with me with technology issues and things like that. The world's gotten so fast. I watch podcast or I listen to podcasts. I watch YouTube. The technology that people are using is incredible. It's like you could film a feature length movie with your phone now. So I'm a little behind the times in that, but I'll catch up quickly. I feel that by doing it every week, a lot of the rust, a lot of the stuttering, stopping, starting will be eliminated. But I want to make this video because I felt this need to apologize. And I started reading this book by Mel Robbins, The High Five Habit. Terrific book. My wife actually started reading it, and then I had heard a podcast where she was the guest. And a lot of times, the problem that I felt when I first started filming the YouTube videos was I don't like my voice, I don't like the way I look, I'm an idiot. All this internal dialogue, no one wants to hear me. All this internal dialogue was static that was playing in the background, and it's really been the static that's been playing in the background a good portion of my life. And when I started reading this book by Mel Robbins, I saw that there's that static's running the soundtrack of a lot of people's lives. And that's something that I really want to address because really you have to be your own cheerleader. And that's something that Mel Robbins touches on in the book, and it's pretty much the basis of the book. But I really am making a concerted effort to stop this soundtrack that's playing, telling me I'm not good enough. I can't accomplish my goals. No one wants to hear me. I look like an idiot. I'm too short. I'm too this. I'm too that. All those different things. Because I think it's really it really just inhibits our growth. So one of the things I want to do by filming these videos is once again bring you along on this 10-year journey. I'm now 6 years into it. At the end of 2022, it'll be the end of the seventh year, and I've made a lot of progress. One of the things I want to touch on, and something that happened during the pandemic, was I've always worked out a lot, and I've gotten mediocre results sometimes. I've tried to really master my nutrition and different things like that, but I thought I was eating a well balanced diet and a diet that was really nourishing me. But I decided after speaking with a good friend of mine, Robin Nicotra, who's a fantastic human being, very inspirational, a good person to speak to kind of sound different ideas off, and we share a lot of ideas, and we're friends, 35 years. One of the things that he pointed out was maybe transitioning to a plant-based diet. At first, I was pretty open-minded. I'm a pretty open-minded person, and I was listening to it, and it seemed like good idea. I started reading some of the literature around living a plant-forward life, like Rich Roll refers to it as. So I adapted this whole plant-forward approach at the time, and I'm going to touch on some different products during these podcasts. I'm not making any money off of any of this, but they're that I'm using, and I'd like to share them with you. Robert had a subscription where he had the ability to gift believe actually it was his wife, had the ability to gift a week of Purple Carrot meals to me, to anyone. So I was fortunate, and they gifted me Purple Carrot to begin the year. So my wife and I, we started this Plant Forward journey. At the time, I had already been trying to get my nutrition in better order, and I had lost some weight. But I'm proud to say today, on March 14th, 2022, I'm down to 190 pounds. I had gotten up to as high as probably 211, probably 215, even though I don't want to admit it, during the pandemic. And, I never stopped exercising. I never stopped eating right. And it was just the weight came on. So there was a point where I was ready to give up. It was a point where I said, well, this is it. I'm 50 years old and I'm just going to be, heavy. It's just a natural progression. And I read some books, losing weight after 40 and all this stuff. So there did reach a point where I was ready to give up and just succumb to middle age being heavy. But that's not the type person I am, and that was it was a big portion of the 10-year plan was getting my physical shape into my physical health into order. So I embarked on Purple Carrot about 3 months into it. I lost another 10 pounds. My goal is to get back down to 175, probably a weight I haven't been since I was probably in around 35. But I think this time around, I lose that additional 15 pounds from where I am. I'm going to be from a much healthier person, because when I was 35 and doing it, I was trading commodities, I was working on Wall Street, I was drinking too much, I wasn't eating properly. So I was thin, but I wasn't healthy. So my goal now is to be thin and lean rather, and be healthy. I think that's the combination that I'm looking for. So I look forward to getting down to that 175 and being a terrifically healthy, plant forward person. It's good for the environment, it's good for animals, it's good for me and you. So that's kind of where my head's at, and that's why I want to make the video today, because it was really a triumph stepping on that scale this morning and seeing 190. That number hasn't been a reality for me for about 10 years. So I was able to accomplish that, and I feel much better. I just feel generally better, and I think I've read a lot over the years where people talk about exercise versus nutrition and the importance of one or the other. For me, I can say firsthand, I've never ever gone more than, I would say, a month with in my whole life. Well, since I'm probably 15, without exercising, working out, something like that. And I couldn't turn the corner until I focused equally on the nutrition. I thought I was eating a healthy diet. I thought every day I was putting the right nutrients into my body, but it wasn't the right combination. So now I have the combination of the training and the combination of the plant forward diet integrated, and I think this might be the key. And my goal is to get down to 175, be in top physical shape, and just be able to live the next 50 years of my life in terrific shape. Again, this is my first video back, so please bear with me. Trying to shake off some of the dust. I do want to do it on a weekly basis, so I hope that you please save this video and share it if you like it. Please bear with the comments and the stuttering, or rather, please bear with the stuttering and different things like that. I will work through it. I'm a perfectionist, and I'm not going to let my desire for perfection prevent me from embarking on this because I want to come at it from a, I want to share my journey. I think I've reached the point where I have uh, enough of a tail here on what I've been doing where I really truly believe I can take people in that direction with me. And I'm not looking to make money off of this. Like I said, I am writing a book and I think it's going to be a terrific book. But if it never gets read by a lot of people, so be it. It's a personal journey, and I want to share my personal journey, and I hope people are able to take something away from it. I will say that the in the last 3 years, I did lose my mom 2 years ago, not to COVID, pancreatic cancer. And I had started writing the book, and the book is really based upon the lessons that she taught me over her life, taught me over my life. And I never, when I started writing it a couple times during the course of my life, and I never had an ending. I never saw it as a full package. And I think the reason I never saw it as a full package was my mom was alive. And it had to come to the point where she passed on that I was able to look at it and say, wait a second, she's the reason I am who I am. And these lessons she taught me were tremendous lessons. Single mother, she had medical issues. My father died when I was 6 years old in a tragic car accident. She had two older children, my brother and sister, to raise. My mother had a rough life, but she never complained about it, and she always had a positive outlook, and she had a tremendous amount of faith, a faith that sometimes I wish I shared that depth of faith. I do have a lot of faith, but the depth of faith that she had right to the very end was remarkable. So I'd like to, enjoy this journey. I'm going to cut it short. This is just the introduction, getting back into the groove. But look forward. I'm going to work on an outline for next week. So getting back to some of the ideas that I was kind of stoking when I stopped doing this, and I look forward to next week. Again, please subscribe to this to my channel, and I'm going to try to add a video. Like I said, every week, build up some content. And if there's any questions, some ideas, or some questions about what I did specifically with my diet routine or my changing my nutrition, as I like to say. It's not diet. Changing my nutrition, please leave a comment and I'll answer everyone. And just today, I do have a purple carrot, a free week to send to someone. Nobody I know really needs one right now. So if you type your name in the comments with your email address, you'll be the first person that does that will be the first one that gets a week of Purple Carrot free. So I look forward to it. I'll be back next week with next week's episode. I'll think about it, give some thought as to what I want to tackle. And until then, have a great day and have a great week. And, have a heart of a lion. Take care and have a great day.